Alright, since we now have a decent setup for final barrier skip, I thought I'd do a tutorial. It's mostly going to be me explaining things rather than visual stuff, because once I get final barrier skip once, I'm going to have to like run through BTR again and again. So I'm just going to like explain some shit as it stands right now. So our current setup relies on basically driving up against the barrier, getting a bounce off the barrier, then jumping and boosting to like instantly get over the barrier. So there's a couple key steps to it. What you want to do is you want to make sure, you can do this on any part of the barrier, but you just want to make sure that the car is facing like perfectly straight. So if you're like going at an angle like this, like it's not going to work. You need to be facing straight like that. You can line up the camera like this just by tapping L2 real quick, by like facing back and then forward. So that's the first step. The second step is driving into the barrier with a set amount of speed. You kind of get the feel for it. So I'll show you what the good speed is. So like that, like that's good. You can do slower as well. Like you can do like that, like that's okay too. But like this is too fast. Like let's see. That'll still work. But you can do like, you know, you can come in like this and stuff. Like that's a little bit too fast, I think. You can still probably get it with that, but you just want to try to make sure that you get the right speed. So as you're driving up like this in a straight line, you want to be holding back on the controller. Just hold like back on the left analog stick to like tilt backwards. Like that. So you're like, you know, so that the car's air steering like backwards. Another thing you can do as well is if you get caught on the stairs like this and you try to press X and he won't move forward like this, you can like wiggle the car out, like just by doing that. You can wiggle it out. That's another thing you can do. So you want to drive up to the barrier with like a solid amount of speed and then hold back. And then the very key part is the moment you're up against the barrier, you jump at like almost as soon as you can. If you jump on the first frame possible, you usually get like that's too early. You either fly backwards like that, so you'll fall on your head like that. That's too fast, but it is within like the first couple frames as you do it. It's almost instantly. I'd like to believe that right now that first frame like just knocks the car backwards, which is bad, but it could also just be the result of like having too much speed. So that's what you want to do. You want to drive up up against the barrier with a moderate amount of speed, and then jump as soon as you hit the barrier so that the barrier bounces you back, and then you want to boost with a certain amount of timing. I probably should have prepared this, but let me pull up Munia, which I actually do have up. So let me just replug this so I can get the controller cam up, because it might help you visually to look at like the way I do the inputs, because yeah, it might just help, you know, because some people learn better visually and stuff like that. So I might as well just show you. Just gonna crop this out real quick. So as you can see, so I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna do one proper attempt, and I might get it, I might miss it, I might just explode. We'll see what happens. I mean, but basically, the spacing between L1 and R2, whenever you boost, is kind of specific. You don't want to boost too early, otherwise you end up going like flat up against the barrier like this. Like that. You'll end up flying flat up against the barrier, and that's not what you want. You don't want to boost too late, because then you fly straight up in the air. But if you're flying up against the barrier and you're hugging it, you're boosting too early. That's a certain at least. So again, let's just go up against the barrier with a moderate amount of speed, hold back on the controller, and then jump and boost in a very specific like rhythm. Let's give it a go here. Like that. And that's gonna probably butter knife me, but that was a very solid attempt. Whenever the car like hits the top of the barrier like that, you'll usually get what I got on this attempt right here, but you'll fly forward a little bit, and that'll happen if you hit the top of the barrier a bit more. So unfortunately, I think, oh, nice, I get another attempt. But sometimes you'll fly straight into the barrier, like in the middle. Oh, camera settings are a little bit off because I think it recalibrated the controller. But yeah, so let's try again. So there you go. So whenever you're in that state, just keep jumping and you'll get it. So I got it right there. So yeah, that was a decent attempt at showing you. Just keep jumping if you're stuck on the barrier, and you know, you kind of get a feel for it. Basically, like there's a lot of outcomes, but the best one is just to like kind of fly straight over it like this. Another thing to mention is that you will like check this out, right? So I just got it, and I exploded, and that's because I landed on my head, and now the game crashed. That'll happen in mission select a lot. When you're on mission select, even if the car doesn't blow up, you can very frequently soft lock. So don't be afraid to go for this in runs. It's different in runs. I don't know why in mission select it's different. It just is. But that should help at least a little bit. So yeah, thanks for watching.